Welcome to Brave Ideas Friday 5. We're here at the Flex Tribes event by Space Plus with Emma Swinnerton, and we're going to do a quick debrief for our Friday 5 today. 5 questions for you, Emma. First of all, landlords, operators working together. It was a hot topic, obviously. We talked about what the right model is, leasing, owning the buildings, or management agreements. What is the answer to that for you?
I don't think there is a clear answer. In the room, we had people that operated their business on all of those different models, and all of them had a clear case for why their model worked for them. So I think it is all of the different models work, and there's pros and cons for each.
Now, if you're a landlord, though, you're in one model, and that's the real estate business, the ownership model. So when you're looking at getting Flex into a building as a landlord, where do you start when it comes to figuring out who the right partner is?
I think the first thing is to be really clear what your objectives are. I think all too often landlords can go out to market with an unclear brief, and then it's very difficult to get the right partner as a result of that. So understanding what your needs are and what you're trying to achieve, whether that is commercial return, amenitisation, delivering future tenants for the rest of your space, you need to be clear on that, and then that will drive who the partner is and how you're going to contract with them.
And I imagine starting with the business plan of the asset for the landlord is probably a key deciding point. So can we break down the different business plans of the asset and which one lines up with which kind of partnership?
I think some of the things to consider is how long the landlord is planning to own the asset, what their wider leasing strategy is, whether it's larger tenants or a bunch of smaller tenants, how the asset fits into wider kind of placemaking or a wider estate will all drive different strategies. So it's difficult to kind of match make. I mean, I think depending on how much control the landlord wants over their flexible workspace will determine therefore how much risk that they are prepared to take and ultimately what the commercial structure is.
Well, that risk is what drives everything, right? You want those risk-adjusted returns. If you're patient capital and you're holding long-term, maybe you want that cash-on-cash yield. Whereas if you're going to try to flip this thing in 3 to 5 years, then, well, maybe you need a lease partner and getting the right operator in there for that. My final question for you, Emma. Valuations, still a hot topic.
Absolutely.
What's the solution here?
It's really interesting. I think valuation cropped up in all of the sessions that I was in over the course of the day. And I mean, unsurprisingly, considering I was in more of the landlord focused discussion groups, I think it's definitely still a hot topic. There isn't an easy solution. Everybody is crying out for more transactional evidence to support the valuation model, but some good suggestions to support that in terms of, sharing data, definitely to have an established set of metrics that you can assess performance against, more collaboration within the sector and building confidence in the model. And I think, just to finish the day, we had people who are very, very passionate about what we do, and I think garnered a group of people who can go out and be the advocates for the sector within the wider property ecosystem.
Well, I imagine this topic is going to continue going forward until it gets solved. I heard today that there was a valuer who was advocating for management agreements over leases because of the diversification of the tenant mix and the covenant strength of those tenants within that mix, or dare I say, customers. So I think we'll continue this conversation for a few more years and maybe until the investor profile of office changes. Emma, thank you so much for sharing your debrief.
You're welcome. Good to see you.
Good to see you. And thank you for tuning in. Until next time, take care of yourself.